Okay. Okay, I'm starting. Okay. Hi everybody. So I'm Rikir, and we're gonna do a little UNIST tutorial. Where is the mouse at the moment? There it is. Yep. So if you are not in Uni Discord, I'll just drop the link in the stream chat. But today's lesson is basically just gonna involve the UW. Yeah. Today's lesson is just gonna be going over how to use Uni Discord. It is like the most important resource for learning Uni. It is where most of the information you can find in North America. Like it's the best repository for that information. So I'll just copy. And
this is why I told you not to back the list.
Okay. So I'll just drop that in the Discord link. So if anyone's watching, you can tune in and follow along maybe, or if you're not already part of the Discord, you should join in. So I'll just go do a quick overview of all the channels in Uni Discord. So there's like the general channels here. You can discuss like just general information about Uni, not specific to any character, but just like daily discussion. The netplay channels are pretty useful if you're trying to find a match, and it's better than just sitting in a waiting room all day. You should just type in that, hey, I'm gonna play, and then you'll most likely get matches within a couple minutes. The information channels are where most of you will find your resources. A lot of the resources for this game can be like found in this channel. A lot of system mechanics, a lot of frame data, stuff like that. Lexbot is also especially useful. You can run a lot of commands, and a lot of commands can be found in there. Furthermore, you can also use the tournament event channels to find local tournaments or major tournaments where a lot of Uni players are gathering. Tournament and archive, it's just older stuff. And the character channel for a specific character, you'll find mostly the resources for your specific characters, and you can discuss with top players about what kind of information they're currently working on, or like advice, maybe you can put up your matches and stuff, and they can take a look at it. So I'll just come back to the resources channel. So I consider all of this to be kind of required reading, but if you're just starting off, then going through like the basic notations and stuff is really useful. System mechanics and stuff as well, these videos are really good. They're not too long, and you can get through most of the important system mechanics in like about 15 minutes. Furthermore, you can also check out a lot of resources written by higher level players, like Infinity wrote the English Rotec explanation one. The I Want to Get Better at Uni series is written by Rompo himself actually, and translated by Giuseppe. So those are pretty good resources if you're trying to get in the game and trying to get better. Especially useful are the character primers, which are really useful. Like there's short tutorials written by players from the Uni community, and all the top players for like their particular character usually have a really good written, short and sometimes longer. Like the Brett's tutorial for Steph is like a little Bible. It's really good. But it'll go through all the basic information, like what kind of character that you're looking at, what they do, strengths and weaknesses. So information like that is really useful if you're trying to quickly learn the game or for your character. So the other resources you can kind of quickly take a look at as well are the system mechanics guide, which is pretty long, but it's for Unio specifically, but most of the mechanics carry over from Unio to UniS, so it's still pretty useful. Right. Yeah, as I said, there's also the frame data, and you can also, the UNIST 3.20 translated frame data is a lot more, it's easier to read because it has been translated from Japanese to English, whereas the 3.20 frame data is all written in Japanese. So unless you know Japanese, it's kind of hard to read, but it's not too hard to figure out what things mean. Like this first column here is just startup frame data, then on block, on vantage, followed by if this move hits high or low. And then there's also, on this side, you can find invincibility for certain moves. But yeah, and then there's also readbeat data. So for example, if you do like 5C then 2A readbeat, it will show you what the frame data for that as well. So a lot of that information will be useful. And then going back. But yeah, so a lot of these resources are good to read. So make sure you take a look at them. And then I'm gonna go over to Lexbot quickly. So Lexbot can handle a lot of different things that I find particularly useful, like frame data. So to get started with Lexbot, you use the exclamation mark operator to do all our commands. So for example, exclamation mark help. We'll get started, and then it'll show you all her different commands. The frame data ones are especially useful to learn. You can use Lexbot in most places in the most channels in the Discord, but if you're planning to spam commands, then just using the Lexbot channel is generally recommended, so that you don't flood other channels with just random commands all the time. So to get started, for example, frame data if you just type frame FG and then the character name, for example, Enkidu, it'll pull up the full frame data for the character that you typed in. It'll just bring up the ones that you can find in resources, but specifically just the PDF for that one character. If you're just looking for like specific individual moves, then you can just do FD, the character name, Enkidu, and then whatever the move name is, like for example, free C. And then it'll just bring up the startup and block data for that one move. You can also, for most characters, you can write the shorthand for their name. For example, instead of Enkidu, you could just put frame data ink, and then free C, or actually I'll just do like 4C. And it'll bring up the frame data as well. And you can do that for most characters, but it tends to vary. Sometimes you'll get a shorthand, sometimes you don't. Along that line, there's also important resources that you can actually bring up really quickly using Lexbot. For example, there's a list of unique commands or custom commands that the mods have put in for specific resources, so that you can bring them out quickly. You can find a good list of them just by typing tilde commands. And it'll bring up the list. Most of these are just kind of silly emotes, but there is legitimately useful stuff in here. Like for example, you can bring up the gem data for like Batista or the health values if you just type like tilde health. Mechanics will bring up the system mechanics that you can find in resources. Yeah, most of this it's like if you don't want to go through the resources channel, you can just type in tilde and whatever you want. For example, tilde like backdash, and then you'll get all the backdash data. Then you get the backdash data for every character. So there's all useful stuff in there. UNIST footage is pretty useful as well. So till UNIST footage, and then you can find Outlaw Vinegar's tweet, which will bring up a document containing all the Japanese YouTube streams. Like for example, you can get the link to Shinjuku, like their actual stream, or you can watch like Acho. There's links to Acho as well, and then he also provides the hiragana and katakana of all like the Japanese players, so they're really easier to find. So when you look at them, you know who you're watching, and then there's like more players, more streams. He hasn't updated as recently, but it's still pretty good. It's a good place to start. Let's go back to the Discord. But you can also find footage from chainshift.net, I think chainshift.net. Chainshift.net. No, let's try Google. Chainshift UNIST. There it is. It's just chainshift.com. Okay. So this is another kind of like keep on rocking or keep on blazing. You just type in the character you want, and then chaos, and then version, UNIST console patch, search, and then you'll get some matches for that character. It's not as well maintained as keep on rocking or keep on blazing, but it's still a good place to start as well to find some like more specific matchups. Go back there. Lexbot also comes with role adding, role removal, but most of them are not really important. It's more aesthetic stuff. But if there is one that a specific role that you probably should add, you should add what is it? Region map. Yeah. So region map will bring up a map of the North America, and then you can assign your region. And what this does is that it unlocks the specific region channels. So if you're, for example, in Eastern Canada, which at the moment Jack is in Eastern Canada, you can assign yourself the role, and then you'll be in that specific channel, and then you can find like local events that are being held. For example, if you're in Montreal, you can go to this event here, and then you can also communicate with people in your area as well. So that's pretty useful. So that's kind of it from Lexbot. So I'm just gonna move on to the character channels. If you're starting off with a character, I already showed you to look at your character primers, but once you're past the really basic stuff, you can go into the specific character channels and actually look at the pinned resources. So most channels have a lot of really good information, as you can see, for the character. A lot of it's pretty up to date, a lot of it's really useful, so you should go through much of it as you can before you start asking questions. Like, there's a lot of useful stuff in here, and every channel has something that's been pinned. A lot of resources, a lot of stuff. People spend a lot of time making these resources. But beyond that, if you're looking for information that's kind of not in the resources channel, or also not in the pinned posts, you do have to kind of make use of like the search functions. Like, there's a lot using the filters is something that most people don't really do. So for example, if you want to find like a certain like optimal combo or something, you can, from like a specific player, for example, like let's say you want to find something that I posted. Like I posted recently, you can go into using the filter options, be like from, let's say Rikir, actually, can I not do that? Huh? Oh, that's weird.
Just type here.
Yeah. It doesn't give me the option here, but okay, at the very least you can check specifically in channels. Like for example, in Enkidu, you can also type in, if you want to do like certain date ranges, like after, for example, like a specific tournament where people seem to have discovered new tech or something. Yeah. No, it's got some. I don't know what the thing is, because on browser you can do from and then search specific like users. Is it turned off? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, on browser Discord you can do this, and you can do it on mobile as well. Like you do from. Yeah, you can do from and then, like for example, Rikir, and then it'll show only posts from me. But I guess I can't seem to do that on here. I'm not sure why. But at the very least, you can do in Enkidu. Well, that's what it is. Yeah, from. No, it's not doing it right. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why that's not usable on this account. It's weird. But yeah, at the very least, you can do in channel. In Enkidu. So you can search for a specific post in Enkidu, and then you can set a date range as well, like for example after, and then you can select the date after, let's say December 1st, and then you can add, you can search for like specific items, not really items, but like file types. So for example, you can say has, and then you can pick from the different file options. For example, if you just want videos, you'll filter out all the posts that have videos in them. And then you can further filter that by certain keywords. For example, you can say, let's say frame trap. Maybe we'll find something. No, nothing? All right, let's try safe jump. That might give us something. Safe jump. Nope. Combo? Combo should give me something. Yeah, okay, we got combos. So yeah, we got recent posts from Psycho, which came from yesterday. You can get find some more recent information. for what, and then you get a couple of results for that. But yeah, you can do a lot with this. You can also find like set date ranges and try to find like match footage. For example, we can do set a date range between, let's say, before January 1st, but after November 1st. And then you can put in like hats as well, and then you're still looking for videos. They want to launch match footage from Scenario. Scenario. And then, yeah, that gave us some matches from Scenario.
Like psychotic stuff.
You want to look for psychotic stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can like psychotic, not just.
We might be able to find something. Psychotic. Yeah, you get the Seth off. That's the very first thing you find. So yeah, that's another way to search for information. That once again, make sure you check all the like different channels. There's a lot of information, and if you fail all else, you can always just drop in a message and say, hey, I need help with this. Be like, in a specific channel, hey, Psycho, can you help me? Hey, Rikir, can you help me? Hey, Trill, do you know if you can find this certain information, stuff like that. But yeah, that kind of ends for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Well, if you stick around, we'll have UniST RAM bats in about 15 minutes. And yep. Just on the car.